guys, and welcome to Ghost Chat, the original and first wargaming variety show. Let's set this season off right and do it the right way. Let's get into it.
Alright guys, here's the Sanguinary Guard commission that I did up for username Gonendorf1. There'll be a link to his channel below. Some of you may remember I've been working on these guys for a little while. We ended up changing up the overall look of the wings on account of the space and my materials, as I don't own an airbrush, and just trying to go from a really basically dark blue to white in such a confined area down here, and particularly up here, was just it wasn't really something that was practical to do, and in the end I think this ended up working out to be a lot better. As always, pardon the reds, they always come out to be a whole lot more severe than what they really are. I'm very happy with the way that the power weapons turned out, and just the general look. I think they're pretty cool and look pretty striking, so hopefully they'll fit into his Blood Angels force really well.
This episode's product review takes a look at the Reaper Pro Series brushes. Firstly, let's take a look at some of the brush's strengths. Well, they hold their points slightly longer than GW brushes. They don't dry out too quickly, and they hold a fairly solid amount of paint due to a large reservoir within the brushes. And at around $7-ish Australian, they weren't especially expensive and remain a few dollars cheaper than GW brushes, so I guess that's okay. Okay, jokes aside, the Reaper Pro Series brushes line is very average. Some of the brushes I was mailed had no point at all, and those that did kept it on a little bit longer than the regular GW brushes. The brushes were all splintered when I received them, and I hadn't even touched liquid to brush, so really I didn't even have a chance to begin with. And when you're working with super fine detail brushes, you know, if you're trying to do an eyeball, you're not trying to paint that eye and that eye simultaneously, you know, it's not a good mix. The brushes deteriorated very quickly, and it wasn't really a viable investment, to be honest. To be fair, they aren't the worst brushes in the world, but I certainly wouldn't recommend them. My opinion is, if you're buying Reaper brushes, go for the Master Series brush line. The natural hairs and superior quality will be the differentiating factors, and they're just so much better. In conclusion, if you have another option, it's probably better than the Reaper Pro Series brush set, to be fair. With the solid success of my current project of the Warhammer Fantasy Army series, I've received many a comment suggesting that I start doing a similar series, but on different systems. Essentially, this will require a substantial effort from me, obviously, if I'm doing a bunch of research, and I'd like to provide information to you guys and the community based on what the community wants most, which kind of makes sense to me. Definitely the most suggested system is Warhammer 40k, but Shatteredverse and Lord of the Rings have both been suggested to me as, you know, definite possible video content types. This is where you guys come in, so leave me a comment either affirming Warhammer 40k or another system. It doesn't have to be Lord of the Rings or Shatteredverse, it can be any system that you would like to see me, I guess, go through like I sort of do with my Warhammer Fantasy Army vids, that you would really like to see a video. You know, it's basically just a series regarding, you know, the lore, basic outlays, and discussions about the different forces within the systems. So, leave a comment, let me know. Paint. It's something that some of us love and some of us loathe, but in the end we all encounter it and use it at one stage or another. So with that said, let's have a look at paint lines. I'm beginning to see more and more paint line diversity within the community, like with less and less hobbyists utilising GW paint lines. Vallejo's model, game and airlines, the Reaper Master and Pro Series, Privateer Press's P3 paints, and even oil paints have become much more commonplace throughout the most of our paint collections, and definitely to a positive effect, I feel. Varying lines mean varying colours and varying the overall tone of a miniature. In addition, varying production methods means varying paint behaviour. I wonder if I can say varying any more than what I already am. These behaviours suit certain individual tastes and personal methods, meaning that certain lines are much more preferred by some wargamers. This leads me to my question to you guys. What paint line do you use? why do you use it, and for extra points, why would you recommend it to other wargamers? Leave a comment below letting everyone know. I, for one, despite using and owning both GW and P3 paints, find myself much more drawn and suited to by the Reaper Master series. It definitely suits my paint style, and I would recommend the line to those people who like to work with super thin paints or just struggle to work out a shade and a highlight for a colour. So guys, that wraps up the first episode of Season 2 of Ghost Chat. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a comment and press the likey button. Comment on what it is that I've suggested. I appreciate it. Catch you guys later.
I wonder if you know